first meetup of 2020. I wanted to thank everybody for coming out. We have a really good RSVP turnout, and there's still people rolling in here, so sorry for getting started a little bit late. If you have any questions for the presenters ourselves, feel free to ask anytime. It's a pretty laid-back group here. And I wanted to wish a big welcome to everybody who's a first-time visitor to our network, our meetup. It's a good step in getting into the investing game, and also a good way to learn. I've been doing it for several years myself, and learn something every time we get together here from the group. Yeah.
And it's actually, there's a lot of new faces here, but this is, we've been doing this for a year this month.
Yeah, this is our 12th meetup.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Thank you.
There's a few faces in the room that we see every month, so thanks for spending your Thursday night with us once a month, and see some of the first timers back again.
Yeah. Don't be alarmed, we are going to start filming. We do have investors and some clients who can't always make it out to these events, so we thought we would start filming them and sending them out to the people who are interested in learning about the topics. So we're going to keep an eye out. We're going to do episodes, so basically every time we have a presenter, we'll have that topic for an episode somewhere on the interweb. Somebody smarter than me will put that up. Yeah, do you want to switch slides there, Jenna? That's us, there, yeah. The slide worked out so good.
I know, it's like getting cut off, but okay.
Next slide, please.
So for everyone who hasn't been here before, I guess.
Oh yeah,
This is Greg Ross,
Sorry.
and I'm Amanda Gates. We're from Royal LePage Atlantic. We have offices all over the city, Halifax and Dartmouth and everywhere, but we work out of this office here, so that's why we host it out of here. It's a good space that it's easy for a lot of people to get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought I would let everyone know who we
Sorry,
are.
I'm jumping the gun here. Yeah, we do real estate for investments, for residential resale. We dabble a little bit in commercial, but kind of have a focus, especially on investment properties. Last year near the end, and looking into this year, it's looking like it'll be a pretty good portion of our business. Will be investment properties and helping investors, get their first or 50th property. It's exciting. I love it because it's my passion outside of work, and now I get to do it at work. And Amanda is starting to fall in love with it as well. So I'd like to. I like gadgets and stuff, but this is a really cool tool that I discovered this year. It's Google Keep. If you use Gmail, it's free. You can just log in and add it on. It goes between your smart device and your computer. So whenever you do something on one, it appears in the other. It's basically a reminder. It's a post-it note on your computer. It's really great because you can share it with people. So if you work in a team, like Amanda and I, or whenever we're doing something on the investment side, we can share the tasks. So, and then we can see if somebody else has finished it. There's a lot of programs out there, you got to pay a lot of money to use these things, but this one's absolutely free. And I mean, I haven't stopped talking about it. Amanda's getting sick of hearing about it, probably, but it's really cool. Another really cool feature is that works good for investors is if you're driving around certain areas, you can set a geographical reminder. So if there's a property, you're on your computer at home at night, and you're like, oh, I should check out that property, I drive by there. It will actually send you a reminder when you're driving by to take a look at it. So you can set geographical reminders, which is pretty cool.
Will it tell you to pick up your dry cleaning?
Yeah, well, you gotta tell it to remind you.
But if you're driving anywhere near the dry cleaners, and
It will tell you to
will
stop and
remind
pick it
you
up.
to stop and grab it.
That's
Yeah.
what your husband's for.
Yeah, so that's so I've been using it now for I guess a couple of weeks, and
Giving me lots of tasks.
no, my task. So yeah, it's cool because I can just set up my whole week on one task, and then set a bunch of little reminders as a group. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's on Tech Corner, and for the next slide, I like to talk about books. I like to read a lot of books. One book that I'm reading now is it's by Dale Carnegie. Most people have probably heard of How to Win Friends and Influence People, but he has a lot of other books, like I would say 20, 30, 40. So this book here, I usually take one or two things from each book They really stick with me. And so this book is called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And the first principle that he talks about is living in day-tight compartments, because the stress that you're feeling from something that you had to do the day before doesn't really matter at the task that you have right in front of you. And what happens tomorrow is something that's going to happen regardless, but you're not going to have too much control over it unless you deal with what's happening right in front of you. So I've been trying to exercise that, live in the day and accomplish the tasks at hand, and I find that it becomes a little bit easier to manage when you got a million things on the go. So I highly recommend the book. What's really cool about the book is this was written like in the 30s, I believe, and if you're listening to it or reading it, it still makes a whole lot of sense. Like, not a whole lot of things have changed. People got stressed out then about running businesses, and they get stressed out now. So Dale Carnegie's a pretty good author to relate to. Yeah, that's about it for what I had to say for the couple of things. So I think Amanda wanted to talk a little bit about market stats.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to talk to everyone about this tonight because we are in January of 2020, a brand new year. And we kind of ended last year with a bang, and we're starting off at this year just at kind of the same rate. It's been a great last few months in real estate. So, because there's so many new faces in the group, I'm going to go over this in a little more detail, just so everyone knows what this is. So this is kind of a snapshot in time. It's as of January 21st, 2020, so just a couple days ago, Tuesday, I believe. And then this is year to date. So this is January 21st, 2019, 18, 17. Where we are year to date, so just the last 3 weeks. So it shows you the listings in HRM, total listings 1,800, as opposed to last year there was 2,700. So a huge decline in inventory as opposed to previous years. When we look at average time on market, so days on market, we're like at 68 days is the average time it takes to sell a home right now. So many of them priced at market value are selling much quicker than that. When we look at our sales this month, so far there's 149 compared to last year. So it's a little bit lower, but there's a lot less inventory. So there's just not as many listings out there for people to buy. In our months of inventory, this is what's really neat to me. So months of inventory means that if we were to stop listing homes altogether, it would take 3.3 months to sell off the inventory that's currently on the market. So when you look at 2019, there's 5.7, 7, 8.9 from previous years. So it's getting lower and lower. Market's getting stronger. Anything over 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. 6 to 5-ish months is about a balanced market. Under that is a seller's market. So, sorry.
Just had a question.
Okay.
When you finish your thought.
So we are in a seller's market right now. So in a pretty strong one. When you look, and really what that means for you guys as investors too. A couple of points, because people think, it's a seller's market, should I be buying? So a couple of things to keep in mind is if you're to buy in a seller's market, when you look right below it at the very bottom, it talks about appreciation from last year. 6% appreciation. So if you're to buy now, the market keeps strong, you're gaining appreciation. So you own that property for a year later you have 6% appreciation versus some of the other years where you're barely, 1 or 2%. Also, if there's any flippers in the room, when you purchase a property to flip it, say it takes you 60, 90 days to do what you need to do to get that property back on the market. A few years ago, you could have been, when you're trying to calculate in all your costs, when you put that property back on the market, it could have sat there for 6 to 8 months before selling. So then you're looking at all of the costs, the time that's on the market, your insurance, everything else. So you can actually calculate that much better now. So if you flip your home and then you're going to put that back on the market, you're going to sell it, average time on market. If you do or if you price it appropriately to market value, it's 68 days is the average. A lot of homes priced right are selling within days, if not hours. we're getting offers. So you don't have to worry so much about those continuing costs, and you can better calculate that. So just a couple of reasons that it is still a good idea to buy in a seller's market. And average sale price, which is kind of interesting too. This time last year it was just over 300, which was exciting at the time, and now we're at 320. So some great things we're seeing there. Any questions?
Two questions actually. So this, I'm assuming, does not include private sales, the stats? This would just be MLS?
We're taking MLS stats here, yeah.
Okay. Second question, I thought that I understood the months of inventory and being a seller's market, but if I'm looking at, so how many sales there were this month being about 150, let's say let's call it 200 for easy numbers. So in 3.3 months, that's going to be about, let's call it 600 sales, but there's 1,800 listings. So I'm not sure I understand how that actually works.
So these numbers here are 1872, it's gonna take 3.3, it'll take 5.7 to sell 28.
Yeah, so what I'm saying though is that this month we sold 150.
Yeah.
So let's round it up and call it 200. So in 3 months, you will have sold 600 properties.
Oh, that'll change.
But
That's
the-
just sales this month, we're running averages, right? So that's an accurate number,
Yeah,
first
149.
21 days.
So next
That's
month
going
might be
to-
170.
Change, yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying let's round it up and call it 200.
Okay.
So if there's 200 sales in February, that's gonna get us, and then let's say another 200. I don't know, like maybe we're getting up into 400 sales per month, is that what happens?
Well, yeah,
Getting into
as the
spring,
months
we'll have-
increase, January is one of the slowest months of the year.
Okay.
So I think they take that all into account when they talk about, like, you know, when we're looking at how many, you know, what months we're in.
Yeah.
So January, December was typically one of the slowest, but January and then February, March, April, by April, May are at the busiest months of the year where majority of the sales are happening.
And if you look at 2017, it's 140 per month, and that was like all summer long. And now we're doing 149 in the slowest month, like that's an indicator there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there was almost 4,000 listings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One started out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just starting our new stats.
Yeah, so.
But
that's why
it's like all indications are showing that it's not slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen numbers like this. Well, I haven't in my time as a realtor, but I speak with realtors who've been doing this for, you know, many, many years, and everyone's talking about where things are. So. Any other questions about that, or?
It's a good time to sell. It's a good time to
To buy.
buy as well. Like selling, if you're looking at maybe changing your portfolio from duplexes to quadplexes, investment properties that were trying to sell last year at this time, they're moving and they're setting records as well. So it's a good time to.
Yeah,
Right.
just wondering for like 2017, 2018, and 2019. So the total listing, is that for the month of January or for the whole year?
So this is a snapshot in time. So on January 21st, 2019, there was 2,700 listings.
Okay.
And that's not for the whole year. It's just at that point in time, if you had searched how many active listings are there, there would have been 2,700
Yeah, and
on that
2019
like on that day.
2019 is on that day, January 21st.
Yes, January 21st. Yeah. So when we say like sales year to date, 149. So of course, like these are very low numbers. They're not all of 2019 or two.
So
It's
that's
literally a
not for
snapshot
the
just
whole
in. Yeah. So that is just the first 3 months or the first 3 weeks of the year for each year.
Okay.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's tough because when you're looking at the years, you think like the whole year, but it's just a snapshot in time for this week. So when we get further into the year, it's hard to really tell when you're looking at only 3 weeks into the year. So that's kind of why we take snapshots from previous years so we can compare. Because when you're looking at where sales are and things like that, only 3 weeks into the year, you say, okay, what does that really mean? But you can see how much it's changed from the last few years.
Months of inventory are low and vacancy rates are low, so it's a good time to be in real estate.
Yeah.
You might have to dig a little bit harder to find other people's, you know, really good deals, but they're still out there.